I am going to look up the laws on stalking. Let's look this up. What if a group of people stalked a person for 13 years? This shit still makes me laugh. It's like, goodness gracious, get a life. No way in fucking hell I still be thinking about, hold on. Okay. All right. Now, of course, the AI overview is going to make an assumption that let's talk about this. Now, on AI, it says if a group of people stalks an individual for 13 years, the victim will face severe long-term psychological trauma, profound disruption to daily life, and complex legal challenges. Interesting. Now, knowing that and being that I am a witch, okay, let's break that first paragraph down. So obviously as a witch, I am gonna make it do what it do, which states, first of all, I'm not a victim, okay? This is for those of you that might be getting stalked. It's a very simple equation of just being able to use your brain, okay? Uh, you would simply make it not, right? So pretty much stalkers who obviously have complex mental problems, right? You would just turn this back on them, right? It says will face. Doesn't mean that it has to happen. Okay? Now, let's talk about the psychological and physical devastation. Complex PTSD, which High Priestess Jamila does not have, 13 years of sustained trauma typically results in complex PTSD, which these people already have thanks to their mamas. That's why they mamas and whoever it is that hoit them is the ones that are actually gonna be afflicted in the long run. So you need to go check on your mamas. Because my spirits is attacking y'all mamas for giving birth to such imbeciles. Causing severe flashbacks, emotional numbing, and deep-seated trust issues. None of those things Jamila has. I wake up on a daily basis, consistently fucking entertained at the fact that you're dumb enough to obviously be a group of imbeciles who got together, you didn't empower yourself in a positive way, but you decided, thank you, sweetie, you decided to uh, try to hurt somebody else instead of helping yourselves, okay? Hypervigilance. You know what? This is funny because this is all the things that y'all have, obviously, while Jamila lives a normal life, okay? Hypervigilance. The victim's brain is rewired by chronic cortisol and adrenaline spikes. I don't have any of that shit. Keeping them in a permanent, exhausting state of fight or flight. That's all, y'all. Systemic health declines. Oh, wow. Let's look this up. Prolonged stress over a decade that often triggers physical conditions like high blood pressure, digestive disorders, and chronic fatigue, none of which I have because, I'm a healer. Profound isolation. Victims frequently withdraw from friends. I don't do any of that. Constantly talking to people all day, every day. As well as I have a man that is adorable, that adorably loves on me every single day. Drops out of school or leave jobs to protect themselves and avoid tracking. I don't have any of that. Okay. Legal and institutional barriers. Evidentiary obstacles proving a pattern of behavior across 13 years requires an enormous amount of physical documentation, timestamps, and digital forensics. Okay, jurisdictional conflict. If the victim moves states or countries during those 13 years to escape, coordinating law enforcement across boundaries complicates prosecution. Well, actually, for me, being out of the state of Georgia, where stalking black women is actually fucking B, help, help. Okay, um, in the state of Georgia actually embraces stalking, gang stalking, and cult-like activity. You know, especially if somebody is quoting Bible quotes. Okay, trust me, I had a client over there in the South and she's been getting cult like stalked for years. And yeah, they don't do much to help stalking victims over there in Georgia. All right. Aggravated charges because multiple people are involved. Prosecutors can elevate the crime to organized stalking, conspiracy, or aggravated harassment, which carries stiffer prison sentences. See, this is what I'm like. I'm liking this with what we're getting into right now. I know some of y'all victims out there, y'all really do have all those problems. See, I'm a healer. And the stalkers are ultra upset and angry and emotional because everything that they're supposed to be sending me through, they're going through. Isn't that funny? Okay. Immediate safety and recovery steps. Document log. Maintain a strict chronological log of all sightings, messages, and property damage. Oh, these bastards would never damage my property. They get fucked up. Safety network. Use a distinct code word when trusted family or friends to alert them with trusted family or friends to alert them when an active threat occurs. Oh, these people know. They know. Don't you ever, don't you ever, you become a safety threat to me. And baby, your ass gonna end up in the goddamn hospital bed. Straight up and down. It'll be some supernatural shit. Your motherfucking ass might end up hanging inside of a tree. Your ass might go missing and end up up top a tree some damn where, on top of the tree, not hanging from a tree. Okay, I'm not a sicko, but my spirits are kind of fucked up. Okay, all right, security bearers. Fortify environments with visible security cameras, motion lights, and deadbolts. Yeah, we like catching y'all on camera. The last time we caught one of y'all on camera, the bitch is in her what 30s or 40s, she claims, and the bitch looked like she had at least 100 goddamn years old. This bitch showed up on camera. Oh my god, I wish that I could download the fucking security footage. It's much clearer. That footage I put up was recorded directly from the camera thingy, the little thing that you play it back. Uh, but trust me, it didn't do the old age justice. This chick looked like she was about 95,000 fucking years old. Looking crazy as the fuck. Looking like she just crawled out of a meth infested trailer. What the fuck? Alrighty. If you having some issues with this, unlike me, go seek professional support and come to Jamila. Okay? Connect with crisis resources like Victim Connect, 1-855-484-2846, or the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for localized legal and psychological aid. Now, I would definitely contact those folks. Guys, y'all know that this kind of stalking, even while it's being done on the internet, is factually considered to be domestic violence. If they are contacting family members, that's definitely considered to be domestic violence. All right, let's see what else we got on here. How many years do people get for stalking? If you're convicted of the felony form of stalking, you face up to 3 years in state prison, a fine of up to 10,000 or more, and ain't none of my stalkers ever seen 10,000. Not that the not a $10,000 that they wasn't spending on crack cocaine, or both a fine and imprisonment. Okay. Note that stalking is punishable under California's three strikes penalty system. Okay, that's California. Okay, y'all. How to defeat gang stalking. Defeating and coping with experiences of targeted harassment requires a focus on personal safety, documentation, and mental well being. You can effectively navigate this by securing your daily life, engaging local support systems, and prioritizing your mental health. Okay? Now, securing your environment. Why do you flying bugs always want to hell? Okay. Digital hygiene. Change your passwords. Enable two-factor authentication, and review the privacy settings your social media. Home security. Improve outside lighting, upgrade your light, destroying the externally from the outside. You fucked up in are. None of them want to get on camera because they all know that they look like dog shit. All right, document everything methodically. Provides objective. Keep a log. Write down exact dates, times, locations, and detailed descriptions of specific incidents. Well, I've done that, but as you guys should see, these dipshits document themselves and tell on themselves every goddamn day in social media. Being as though too sick, half dead, in the goddamn bed to get out of the bed. Most of them don't have cars, and all of them are fucking scared shitless because my spirits have told them via number one, possessing their vehicles, okay, like Christine the movie, that you better not bring your black asses around me or either your white albino asses around me, okay? Gather evidence, safely secure any available video footage, photographs, or saved messages. Cease and desist. Have an attorney, here we go. Have an attorney formally issue a cease and desist letter to any identified individuals, which documents that their contact is legally unwanted. This is one thing I have not done, but I don't have to because I have what's called spiritual attorneys. Let's pin cushion and come back to that. Okay? Seek localized support and legal help. Do not try to handle the burden alone. That's right. Come to High Priestess Jamila. We will curse them and they mamas. Okay? Utilizing community and professional resources can help you enforce boundaries. Law enforcement. Report all incidents to your local police precinct. Even if an arrest isn't immediate, a documented police report is necessary to establish a timeline and request restraining orders. Now, this is where I'm not, this is what I'm not going to do, okay? Because a restraining order typically makes a stalker worse. This is when blood is beginning to be shed. And it will be the blood of my stalkers that will be shed. Thank you to Glasla Labalas, Valafor, Andras, and a few others. Let's get into this shit. One thing I want y'all to know also is that the stalkers are stalking me to prove that they have something better than me. When obviously all of the men The males that are involved have small penises, and all of the women have dried, dugout cooches that stank. All right, getting back into what the fuck we talking about. Oh yeah, y'all know I get. And let me tell y'all something. If you're being gang stalked, I'm the place to be. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. I got a whole goddamn fucking we got everything. We got everything, and I know that a lot of can't. Some of y'all can know. Some of my peeps that are being gang stalked have paid me thousands of dollars to help them at once, all at once. Being as though gang stalkers are losers and they're always constantly trying to make you lose your job, try to create a bad reputation for you because they're jealous because they ain't got shit to speak of. If they actually had something going for them fucking selves, they wouldn't be fucking stalking somebody. They're ridiculous. Okay, getting back to what I was saying. Okay, do not try to handle the burden alone. Utilizing community and professional resources can help you enforce boundaries. Thank you to the community. Okay, even in Georgia, Georgia's stepping up their game. Okay, to shout out to law enforcement in Georgia. Okay, report all incidents to your local police precinct. Okay, wait a minute. We already went through that. Hold on. All righty. Victim services. Reach out to local victim service providers, family justice centers, rape crisis centers for comprehensive safety planning and guidance. Okay. Stalking resources. Use the Stalking Prevention Awareness and Resource Center to find localized resources and understand stalking dynamics and identify your legal rights. Now, prioritize mental health and community. The psychological toll of prolonged harassment is severe. Okay. I'm different. I'm different. I'm a healer. I am a stalker's worst nightmare. Okay. Every goddamn thing, they'll never make me feel bad, but every goddamn thing they try to do to me, I've already done to them. Okay. So, I wouldn't sit around and become a victim because, if you think about it, think about it, they're stalking you because they're projecting their shit to you. Please do not, hey, this is basic information. I'm going to give you the real information. All of your stalkers are projecting their fears, their iniquities, their curses, their problems to you. Trust me on that. Do not ever become a sponge for those people. Do y'all understand me? Because at the end of the day, you will lose your mind, you will lose your gifts, and you don't want that. You don't want that. Of course, you can go and get on disability or something like that. I have a 30-year work history before I started my business. I could literally go and collect disability right now just for being stalked, just for being a gang stalking victim. I could literally apply for disability right now. I refuse to do it. You know why? Because because nothing is wrong with me. They can't mess with my head, y'all. But y'all can do that, okay? All right. It is critical that you take care of your psychological well-being, not just by seeing a therapist, but also coming to High Priestess Jamila, okay, or somebody like me. Trusted networks. Tell trusted friends, family members, or trusted colleagues what is happening so they can be vigilant and provide emotional support. Now, here's the thing about it. Stalkers have gotten sophisticated, okay? Some of them are even doing spiritual work and sending a lot of hate to your family. If it's a male that you're dealing with, he's probably trying to isolate you from your family. So, unfortunately, if the family is going to get involved, they have to think outside of the box when it comes to spirituality, because all of them possibly could be getting targeted with witchcraft. If it's not specific witchcraft, then it would be a collective consciousness that is affecting your family. Everybody does need to get involved. Nobody needs to be vigilant. You know what we do? I'm going to tell y'all something. I wish I could show y'all my meditation center. Hell no, Don Puller. I would never let them hurt my family. Never. They've been trying to hurt my peace for years. I told y'all that my uncle had cancer, and in less than 6 months is cancer free. What you think of that? I would never let them hurt my family. I would never let them hurt anybody innocent. Okay, just let y'all know. All right, let's see what else we can read about this. See, some of y'all that are being gang stalked, y'all be getting unwanted following and touching. Ain't nobody ever put their goddamn hands on me. Y'all better get y'all some protection. A person coming up to you laying their hands on you, oh my God. Unwanted communication without threats. If the harassment, hold on, if the harassment consists purely of annoying phone calls, emails, or text messages that do not contain explicit threats, police may not be able to make an immediate arrest. What they can do in these cases, an officer can contact the individual, explain the allegations against them, and issue an official warning to knock it off. While not an arrest, this formal warning is highly effective at stopping the behaviors. Now, the one thing that law enforcement has got to understand, I remember when the stalking first began. Guys, it didn't start actually in 2013. It started when I was actually living in Grandview, Missouri. It kind of started in about 2011-ish, 2010-ish, right? They were harassing me online, and local law enforcement actually contacted them and stopped and asked them to knock it off. Oh, that made the stalkers angry. Law enforcement needs to be aware that they are being used as puppets. There is sometimes high-level witchcraft that is being done. If you have a high priestess such as myself in your area that knows about planetary alchemy and knows about high magic, then we can get some services going on for the police, because your police is actually sometimes can be getting used against you, because they will do spiritual work, they will contact the police, they will do false CPS calls, police calls, and they will try to do magic and sorcery on those people. Now, this is where it can get dangerous. It's as simple as a writing on the wall. It's as simple as what I do eloquently, because you definitely do not want your local law enforcement against you. Okay? These people will do, and as a witch myself, I know all about it. Now, usually they do have some, here's the thing about it. Can't no witch fuck with me. Just FYI. I'm not saying I'm not the only witch in the world that's unfuckwittable, but they can't fuck with me. Even a group of them. Okay? A gang of witches, which I don't think of them as witches. I think of them as wannabes. Because witches have much better things to do than doing shit like that. Okay? Just like myself, I attract clients that will drop several to 10 to 20 to sometimes 50 grand on me. Those are not real witches, because those are people that are, taking a little bit of money here and there, and they playing around with it, and they fucking dabbling. You fuck with me, you gonna get the real thing. And you gonna be healed. And you gonna actually have a life. That's a fact. I see people that are being gang stalked, and goddamn, it just takes over their whole life. Why would you do that? Don't let them do that. Did you know that if a group of people were praying against you, just saying prayers, there's plenty of evil things in the Bible, just saying prayers against you, do you know that that can affect you? So imagine a group of witches or a group of people that were practicing witchcraft. Imagine that. Okay. So, think about that, right? And many of you guys, it's very silent, but sometimes can be deadly. The people are not making themselves be known. The idiotic dipshit stalkers that I'm dealing with are actually dumb enough to stalk me publicly and do it for 13 years, but then brag about how they've gotten away with it. Well, it's sad to know that in your late years in life, 40s and 50s, you're going to spend the rest of your damn lives behind bars or a mental institution. Okay? Because, see, the stalkers I'm dealing with, they're doing it. I have, I have my theories as far as like, they have a handler or either many, but their handlers are afraid of me. Now, would you be dumb enough to go and do the bidding of a motherfucker that is afraid of the motherfucker that you're harassing? Nobody is that stupid in this fucking world. First of all, second of all, if somebody came up to me and said, "Okay, I got a job for you." Okay, what is it? You're gonna stalk this witch. What? You're gonna stalk somebody for me? I'm gonna be like, first of all, I'm gonna get insulted. I'm intelligent enough for my intelligence to be insulted. Like, what the fuck? Do you think that that's all I'm capable of? Why in the fuck get social media to do something stupid like that when I have the ability to do something greater? So all the stalkers are less than you. You have to understand that. And even in a group, do y'all not understand that several dumbasses is less than zero? They are not intellectually better than you, psychologically or cyclically, psychically. They're not. They're a bunch of fucking idiots. First of all, I am not susceptible to mind control or anybody else. Testing, 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 testing. All right, I'm back. I had to reload the page. All right, let's get back to what I was talking about. Let's talk about the gang stalkers. Tell me, what are the psychological profiles of a gang stalker? In psychology and forensic psychiatry, gang stalking is understood as a modern persecutory belief system rather than a real world phenomenon of coordinated civilian harassment. The gang stalkers are entirely imagined, serving as central actors in a psychological condition known as a paranoid or persecutory delusion. Now, we all know that I'm not delusional because we can see them stalking me, right? And we've all witnessed them stalking me for 13 years. All right, hold on a minute. Maybe Google didn't understand my question. What is the psychology of a person who participates in gang stalking? GameStop. Hold on. Okay, let me type it in. Shit. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. All right, it brought up the same thing. Just FYI, y'all, you know how like you see some people, unfortunately, like Candy Grand Prix, everybody is a perp. There's a car driving down the street with a headlight missing, and that's a perp. And perps are everywhere. Everybody's perping. And so I don't go through that shit. Okay, I don't. You know, I actually have an excellent relationship with the world. Okay, people speak to me. I have a man in my life. I have a normal life. When gang stalking has done that to you, that's terrible. But it could lead a person down that road to where they feel like everybody. Oh my God, and that's very dangerous for that person that's going through that. Um, at that point, people that are messing with that person literally are looking to make that person run around in traffic and hurt somebody. So people that are doing stuff like that, first of all, for Candy Grand Prix, I truly believe that since she does not have a sustainable income, okay, because it actually is not sustainable for her to expect for her viewers to pay her hundreds of dollars per day. Now, if the gang stalkers were not, doing certain things to her channel, Candy Grand Prix could literally earn thousands of dollars per month just on AdSense alone. However, the whole situation is very toxic, and that's not very sustainable. Okay, this is the reason why I really don't like discussing it, but I will because I'm different. Okay, but otherwise I don't like discussing it because really, to be honest with you, it would serve me more to in fact, I'm going to do it today. We're going to have a breakthrough. I'm going to, make a product endorsement video because I am an Amazon associate. I'm going to make a product endorsement video, and I'm going to talk about sage sticks today. Okay. And I'm going to link my seller profile. I'm going to upload this video to this channel as well as more than likely my Witch's Broom channel. Okay. So, I don't want to make my channel all about them, but it's something that needs to be discussed. And it is because the stalkers have been scamming people for years. They are trying to make the public fear them, and they're trying to make it seem like they have enough power to force y'all into homelessness, right? So that's why they keep doing this countdown. And what they don't understand is that at the end of the fucking countdown, before the end of the countdown, we're not going to say when. We're not going to say when. But but before the end of their countdown, the stalkers are going to get they gettings, because that's bullshit. Y'all do not have the power to make somebody fucking homeless. And if you did anything to make that person homeless, High Priestess Jamila can fix it. And I can heal the people that you have harassed from any state. I don't have to touch those people. I don't have to be anywhere near them. Anybody that is being gang stalked can seek out my services and they will be okay, and so will their families. On a side note, hit up divineservicesapothecary.com, because at the end of the day, not only will I capitalize off of gang stalkers, but I will also effectively help people that they are trying to do harm to. Okay, don't let them harm you. Why would you let them harm you? You do realize that your mind, your body, and your spirit is something important that God wants you to preserve. You don't give yourself over to those people. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Live life. Do the things that you enjoy doing before you began getting gang stalked. I've been getting gang stalked for 13 years, right? Or longer, since coincidentally I got on YouTube. Very egregious gang stalking from the beginning. It was racially motivated. During a time where I was at my most vulnerable, I had just had a miscarriage. I was trying to conceive Jacob, and they were laughing at me. They thought it was funny. They were attacking me. They told me that I shouldn't be having children at all because I'm a black woman, which is ridiculous, right? So it started back then. All throughout these years, I have consistently enjoyed my life. I have never allowed them to not. I go through and I experience everything that, well, besides, I will tell y'all this. And my spirits are even telling me, no, it was meant for you to be over in Georgia for the time that you were there. They would have preferred for me to have left Georgia sooner than 2025. However, because of certain things that were happening, that the universe was playing out, everything met up at the exact time that it was supposed to be met up at. So it's all gravy, right? Now, the gang stalkers, they think we took this person's life, right? That's what they're thinking. They think that they took 13 years of my life. Well, why is it that y'all are half dead, dying, look like fossils, but I look beautiful? Sorry, my skin is flawless. My health is amazing. And I feel good. Why is that? Because that is, after all, what gang stalkers are looking for. They are looking to have power over somebody, right? That of which they don't. All right, let's get into what I want to get into here. Are gang stalkers crazy? That's what we're gonna put in here. this that because Google wasn't quite understanding my question. Okay. Are gang stalkers mentally ill? Let's look at that. Okay, gang stalking, the belief that a vast coordinated network of people is systematically surveilling, harassing, or controlling an individual is not an official medical diagnosis. Okay. What? No. Okay. It keeps bringing up for some reason. For some reason, Google will not bring up you know what? Let's put this in. Are stalkers mentally ill? Because that's why. Okay, so listen. When you are speaking to law enforcement or anyone about being gang stalked, even though it's a group of them, don't use the lingo gang stalking because that word it's has been stigmatized just like the word racism. We have to do a slight variation to that right now. Right now, eventually, we will be able to use the term gang stalking. Uh, but right now, the word gang stalking has a significant amount of stigmatization. Uh, okay. Let's go ahead. Okay. Are stalkers mentally ill? That's what we want to, because individually they're stalkers, but collectively, okay. All right. Stalking itself is a behavioral pattern, not a standalone mental illness. However, it is deeply intertwined with psychology. Stalking is often a symptom or byproduct of underlying psychological conditions, such as personality, mood, or psychotic disorders. Though many perpetrators do not have a mental illness and are motivated simply by power, control, or anger. The psychology behind stalking, I don't agree with this, okay? But I will say that yes, they are all very fucking mentally ill. And they're stupid and dumb and very cursed. There is no way that I would spend any time of my day stalking anybody. I would much rather do the things that I enjoy in life, okay? But let's get into it. The psychology behind stalking. While not a disease, stalking behaviors, personality disorders. Let's get to the shit. Conditions like borderline, narcissistic, or antisocial personality disorder can lead to an inability to respect boundaries, impulsive manipulation, and extreme reactions to rejection. Psychotic disorders. So let's talk about the stalkers in social media. They are codependent on stalking people to have an audience. And while they believe that they have some kind of audience or people that support them, actually their social media presence is weak at best and unaccepted. But they would do anything to get attention. So I do believe that histrionic personality disorder has a lot to do with what they're doing. Okay. Psychotic disorders, individuals with schizophrenia or delusional disorders, e.g., erotomania, the false belief that someone is in love with them, may stalk out of a disconnected perception of reality. Mood disorders, severe depression or bipolar disorder can occasionally contribute to obsessive fixations on a specific individual. Mental health and the law, because stalking is purposeful and goal oriented, whether to instill fear, reclaim a relationship, or exert control, the justice system treats it as a crime. While a clinical disorder may partially explain the behavior, it does not legally excuse it. The vast majority of stalkers are held fully accountable for their actions, regardless of their mental health status, so y'all should deal with that. No nobody care that you crazy. With that pop. Oh, goodness. Straight jacket time. Okay. It is also important to note the severe mental health toll stalking takes on the victim. The constant psychological terror, fear, and hypervigilance often results in victims developing anxiety, depression, substance abuse disorders, and post traumatic stress disorder. Now, let's talk about that for a minute, okay? I want y'all to deal with the energetic and spiritual aspect of this, okay? What the stalkers are doing, which is why they make, like, okay, imagine this. I've got a group of stalkers, right? They used to have numbers. They've dwindled down. Many of them have died or left and walked away, got some good sense. It's only a few left who I am going to also equally destroy as well. Okay. I have had people just come and just literally everything that is wrong with them that has happened to them in their childhood, everything that they're thinking and they're feeling, instead of them dealing with it in a healthy manner, they have projected it either to myself or my children. For example, a crazy lady calls in to one of the main stalkers blog talk radios. She's obviously having a fucking psychological moment. She's screaming and hollering, right? She's screaming and hollering and she's saying, "Help! Jamila has Jacob locked in the closet." Now, obviously, Jacob nor any of my children have ever been locked in a fucking closet. I can assure you that High Priestess Jamila Shante Briscoe, has never locked any child in a closet. In fact, I haven't even lived in a home where it was a fucking lock on the closet. But clearly, this person did. Clearly, this person grew up in a fucking abusive environment where she was locked in a closet. That's one example. Another example is the projected crime of molestation and rape that the stalkers have done themselves, but are subconsciously on a very powerful level guilty for it, but then trying to project it to me. Here's the thing that y'all got to understand about everything that they're doing. You need to protect yourselves spiritually. You need to use Reiki practices as well as witchcraft practices to protect yourselves, because they will project all of that to you, and then you are suffering from someone else's crime or their fears or their problems or their trauma. Imagine it being a group of people. Now, this is something, of course, I recognized it years ago. So did my spirits. We recognized it. And this is the reason why the gang stalkers are still upset, because all of their sins and their crimes and their iniquities and their fears and their self-loathing, everything that they are, that they hate about themselves, they are upset at Jamila because I won't take that pain from them. Okay. Now, keep in mind, that's actually what I do professionally for a living. Did y'all know that? Kind of. Not exactly, though. Okay. All of your problems that you have, what I do is I force you and to transmute that energy. And there are certain cases to where certain situations to where I will absorb your pain, transmute it, right? But very rarely. That is only reserved for my close loved ones. For example, okay, as a mother, and then so I'm gonna bring up this example first. As a mom, okay, I believe that we are not always living within the you have several lifetimes. You have several past lives, if not more. So as a mother, when I gave birth to my children, you as the mother that brought the child into this world have a divine responsibility to deal with that child and their past life things. Now, I gave birth to four healthy children, okay? However, when you're born, psychologically and spiritually, your soul is attached to all of your past lives. So, as a mother, I'm dealing with that, right? Which is hard enough. That's where my responsibility lies, as well as my grandchildren. Being that I am a high priestess witch, that's what I deal with. Okay, off the tops, off the just off the cut. Like that's something that I never can avoid. Okay. Now, when it comes to my significant other, everything that is of him, whoever it is, okay, it may, and that's why a lot of women have to be careful sleeping around, because when that man has sex with you, he is putting things in you. This is the reason why it is suggested to not solicitate prostitution and things of that nature. It's not because we're slut shaming you, it's because it can be very dangerous. You're taking in that person's energy. Duh, that's the reason why. I mean, unless you know how to deal with that, okay, fine, but whatever. Okay, it's not recommended. So, but that's why you should never, ever, 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 ever lay down and have sex with a man that is abusive to you. You should not. Try to refrain from that and get out of it as soon as you can. Okay. But like, for example, my significant other, like, this is the man that I will be with for the rest of my life, straight up and down. And I didn't meet him until I was 48 years old, but I knew he existed, right? I will absorb everything that is his and transmute it for him, because that's what you're doing already. When you are tied up in a relationship with someone, that is what you are doing. It automatically happens because you're processing their pain. This is the reason why you have to look at relationships deeper than it just being a business transaction. This is ridiculous. And you have people out here that are actually telling you that because they don't know how to live within their truth and their purpose. They're telling you that, well, you're just with that person to pay the bills with them. No, actually relationships run deeper than that. That's bullshit. That's not all that you're doing. So you have to understand that there are a lot of people that are not evolved. And guess what they're doing? They're setting you up for fucking misery. Do not listen to that shit. Do not. Excuse my language, I know a lot of y'all like, dang, man, if she would cuss less. Listen, that's why you have to choose your significant other wisely. For example, the moment that me and my significant other uh copulated, he absorbed whatever that was residual from what I was going through, right? That it's just a given. It's just a given. It is. And so you have to understand that when you're going through something, and that's where you have to form this synergy with each other. And, whether or not that person understands it or not, I think that they do, especially men. I think men have a deeper level of understanding than what we believe. But, some men can transmute negativity faster than others, okay? But you're transmuting, you're healing. Okay. That's one of the reasons why they wanted Marvin Gaye gone off this earth. Because Marvin Gaye he was one of the people that his music was very spiritual, especially that song Sexual Healing. Okay. Yeah. That's why they wanted him gone. Because to me there is a very toxic agenda uh and I've talked to you guys about incubuses and succubuses. I've talked to y'all about that. Okay. The gang stalkers are totally possessed by them. That's why they all look half dead and they all dried up and fucked up. They are. You know, they have to represent their captors. Okay. Because basically, what those entities are going to do to them is take every fucking thing from them till there's nothing left. I've heard people talk about working with incubuses and succubuses. Perhaps some of the ones that are on the hierarchy, which are, but 99.9% of incubuses and succubuses are factually untrustworthy. Okay, so and I've you know, that's just what that is, and so okay, I think I'm back, y'all. I'll do it. Okay, I think I'm back, y'all. I'll do a check in a minute. I need to. Okay, so something that pretends to be your friend, like an incubus or a succubus, is very similar to that girl Tiffany who faked, pretended to be my friend for over 20 years. And, she was definitely of a succubus energy, right? That's why they freak out on you. That's why they freak out on you when you start to, especially if you start practicing witchcraft and you start really protecting your energy. They freak out on you. Okay? They do. They freak out on you. They start to persecute you heavily. Okay? Let me make sure I got sound. Uh, People that are being gang stalked. Some of y'all are being gang stalked by thousands, okay? Uh, and it's important to understand that I do take cases like that. I do. But I can't do that for free. Otherwise, I'll end up homeless in the poorhouse, and I'm not going to do that. Okay? I don't do no spiritual work for people for free at all. I don't. No. If you need free services, then go to the church. Okay. All righty. Anyway, guys, to all my peeps out there, peace and love to you guys. Okay. Um. No. Okay. The gang stalkers in social media, just because they're online stalking, does not mean that they have any power. They're trying to prove it by consistently posting things. Do not believe them. They are suffering, and we will not end their suffering at all. We will never. They will continue to suffer, okay? While us over here flourishes. So, just them posting, they like, I'm talking my shit. No, you're still a loser. Stop being stop being fooled by their desperate videos and sayings and all of that stuff. Stop being afraid of them. Especially the ones that are stalking me. You have no reason to be afraid of those people. They're full of shit. Okay, however, that doesn't mean that they're not a nuance, because they are. Let me make sure I got audio. That doesn't mean that they can't be a nuisance. Like, for example, they were harassing my uncle, and it resulted. Okay. It resulted in my uncle filing an unlawful detainer. Is that going to affect me? No. Why? I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give all of my information, but trust me, the unlawful detainer, all of this bullshit is not going to stop me from ever getting what I want in life. Okay. Where there's there, and it is what it is. I have done everything to cover myself spiritually, as well as legally. So we're good on that. Okay. And keep in mind that, you know, um, keep in mind that I am their superior. Okay. I am supreme to every gang stalker. Uh, and you just have to understand, hey, truly yours, whatever. You just have to understand that, they will get clobbered. Okay. And flabbergasted. They will get clobbered and flabbergasted. Oh, did you miss me? Yeah. I actually was not even really. And in fact, I gotta go, y'all. I'm about to go now. I got a lot I gotta get done. Okay, I have a lot to get done. So, oh, cool, nice. Well, I'm glad that you're here listening. Okay, let me get my patootie off of here. I gotta go. By the way, we are helping gang stalking victims. Okay, we do help gang stalking victims. So if you are being gang stalked, you need to don't let, like, some people sit around for years and years and years and before they take action. Those are the worst cases. People that sit around for years and years and years. Don't do that. Some of the first signs of being gang stalked, uh, they're very subtle. Maybe we'll talk about that a little later. Some of the subtle signs that you're being gang stalked and your family is being targeted. Uh, and your family needs to get it together. That's what I'm talking about. Families, when the one thing I will tell you that's really bad is that when it comes to the family, getting together, because I can't help your whole family, because the ones that are you're the closest to, I can, but a lot of families really need to get together, because there are some gang stalking networks that are stalking your entire family. And usually what ends up happening is that all of the blame gets shifted. They do a lot of blame shifting. But see, y'all do realize that I do energy work. So you try to shift the blame to me, I'm going to shift it back to you. What the fuck are you doing? Literally within seconds. What are you doing? What the fuck? What the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Like I don't understand why in the hell somebody would be dumb enough to stalk an authentic witch. But your family needs to get together. I ain't about to sit up here and do work for an entire family and not be compensated for it. You know, no, 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 no. I cannot and I will not. No, no. But, help with your immediate family, your children, maybe your grandchildren, your husband, or maybe if you're in like a situation with me, uh, your uncle, okay, that's being targeted. Now, another thing that I was going to say though is that uh, stop letting them destroy your family. Y'all just let them destroy your whole family to the point where y'all be having replaced memories. Now all of a sudden everybody in the family done did something to you and they bad, and it's like, oh, come on now. Why y'all let them do that? I understand some of y'all did come from bad families, but why do y'all let them do that? Quit doing that. Y'all let other people create y'all reality. Why do y'all do that? Hello? Why do y'all do that? Anyway, I'm gonna quit getting on y'all about that. I gotta go. No, they don't. They don't. And you need to stick. Y'all need to stick together at all times. And y'all need to quit avoiding it and ignoring it. Okay? Your family meetings should consist of acknowledging the problem instead of shifting the blame to one or two people in the family. It's a family affair, honey. It's a family affair. Now, for me, I know for a fact that my family has been getting targeted probably for longer than these gang stalkers. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother was the first black female supervisor at the U.S. Postal Service. Somebody didn't like that. My grandfather, Adolph Briscoe, was a very well paid photographer during his day. And he died when I was very young, very mysteriously. And my mother, very successful government worker, worked for the government, making goo gobs dollars per hour, making many, many, many dollars per hour. My mom was like a GS 79 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Had paper, houses, real estate, owned houses. Of course we're getting stalked. A lot of y'all that have it like that, you can be gang stalked, or some kind of weird fucking trashy cult will be after you for many reasons. You realize that you're being stalked because of your success. And the thing of it is about it is that the elders in the family need to wake up and smell the coffee, because guess what? It's gonna afflict and affect the youngins. Y'all got to be woke and understand this for the future generations. And the ancestors are gonna that precede you are gonna force you to do it anyway. You got to do it. You can't sit up here and say, "Oh my God, it's a monster." Well, I mean, I'm not afraid of it. What is it? What does it look like? Does it look like a monkey? But you afraid of that? Ain't nobody afraid over here. So y'all can't just Say, oh, fuck it, I give up. You know what? What? Like, we're talking about your bloodline on the front line. Get it together. Get it together, folks. And God damn it, stop attacking the witches. Okay, you can be Christian, you can be Catholic, but quit. I understand if it's an evil witch in your family doing work on you, that's fucked up. But if it's a somebody that's practicing and they're trying to protect and heal the family, wake up. Because please believe that you can pray every single day, but I'm telling you that, like, when it comes to evil witches, like, the evil witches are the ones that are targeting your family. They're being utilized by sometimes the church. The church will go and hire, different groups will go and hire witches. So you got to wake up to that fact, man. You got to wake up. Okay? Keep in mind that practicing witchcraft is not, according to your religion, is not an unforgivable sin. Keep that in mind too. It even says it. I think the only thing, according to y'all religion, I don't practice religion. I respect y'all religion, okay? But the only thing that you can do to be condemned by God is what? What was it? The most forgivable action? Hold on. I think that, and that's according to the Bible that somebody else wrote. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let me ask Google real quick. What is the one thing that the Christian God doesn't forgive? Okay. What's blasphemy against the Holy Spirit? That would be. This essentially means the deliberate, ongoing, and final rejection of God's grace and truth. Now, that is according to the Bible that somebody else wrote. Just saying. Okay, I think Mark and Matthew talked about that. Final rejection of grace. Okay. And so it this is very complicated. I'm unpacking a lot. Let's pin cushion this. We'll talk about this later. I gotta go. Okay. All right. Y'all have a blessed Saturday. Enjoy y'all libations, and I will see y'all later. Okay. All right.